I am 30 years old, and each summer I help my father build on a piece of land he bought on a shoestring for his retirement. Each summer, except perhaps maybe next summer. I guess you could say we have our problems, but that would hardly be anything new. Still, each year he hurts me somewhere way down deep, and I don't think I can do it again. And I'm driving home to Seattle from Northern California, where the land is shattered by this gaping chasm between my father and I. And this song comes on the radio. Cat Stevens singing to me. Only he's not Cat Stevens anymore, I guess. And he's not allowed in America anymore, is he? So much for land of the free and created equal. But that's not even what's bothering me, not just then, anyway. What's getting to me is the fact that he's gone. This man who knew so eloquently what it was to be a father and a son, he's gone. I'm crying. One of those free, heart-wrenching, sobbing cries that can only happen when you're alone, perhaps. Like I am in this Subaru, speeding along through an America I thought I understood. Cat Stevens is gone, and my old man's still here. I am Master Lee, Grand Master of the ancient form of AUT04. My powers will amaze you. I'm going to stack these boards up high, break them with the palm of my hand. But first, my godfather always used to say, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. I've heard it since, but I'll always remember it as him. Maybe that's what he was talking about, though. The way that we remember things. Somewhere between the truth and a good story. If you knew him, you'd see just how perfectly the phrase fits in mine. It was widely rumored that he had been part of the CIA. Though there was no proof I ever found. Just rumors. Just stories. Still. I am 11 years old, playing with a Matchbox car, a red and yellow two-tone paint job marring some bastardized model of Ferrari, as I recall. I am sitting in the entryway of my godfather's ranch-style home on the side of Haleakala, the open front door blowing warm banana and hibiscus breezes across my own little private speedway. I have been in the barn and seen the plants drying in the rafters. Though I don't grasp the full implications, I know what my godfather does. He grows paparola. Lots of it. A ratty car crunches at the end of the driveway and stops. From somewhere in the garden, my godfather walks to meet it. He talks to the driver, then crosses in front to talk to the passenger. Words grow hot, rippling red across his face, and he commands loudly that the car and all its inhabitants go. Go in no uncertain terms. And then he's storming back toward the house, back toward the open front door, back toward me. And over his approaching shoulder, the car edges forward a few feet onto the driveway, and all four doors begin to open. With only the smallest of glances at me, my godfather reaches through the open front door behind the coats and windbreakers that hang there and pulls free a nickel-plated AK-47. It springs to his shoulder and he fires 4 shots in a perfect line in front of the car. The doors, halted in mid-opening, snap shut, and the car's engine revs. 3 more hot pops snap at the gravel in front of the car, small plumes of sandy dust leaping and falling. The car backs up in jerky, agitated movements and disappears again into the jungle. This is my godfather's life, and I am his godson. He loved me, and I loved him. Right up to the day he went for my throat with both hands. That was his way. I had just never seen the other side of it. He either loved you or he hated you. I told my father this story years later. He was mad. Mad that my godfather had borrowed that rifle from him and never returned it. I guess you could say my trouble is with my two primary male role models. I'm having trouble honoring mine of late, and I have guilt about that, about my judgments of them, about my pulling away, slowly from one and abruptly from the other. The whole scenario reeks of youthful idealism. A young man who thinks he's got it all figured, lashing out, judging the mistakes and shortcomings of an older generation with no thought to his own deficit of character. But I don't think I have it all figured out. I'm just trying to see through my illusions, to see the real story, the truth, and act accordingly. Whether that means taking the good with the bad or breaking away. I can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, I know that. My fathers have taught me a great deal, which has come in very handy. Oh yeah. But their bifurcated natures, like two highly functioning schizophrenics. There is more to the universe than their separation, their duality. I know there is wholeness, integrity, yin and yang residing in a single circle. I'm going to stack these boards up high, break them with the palm of my hand. But first, I am 21 years old, visiting my father in Japan, where he has lived for the past 3 years, teaching English, studying tea ceremony and Zen Buddhism. When I arrive at his Kyoto home, he has just returned from sitting Sheshin at the nearby monastery of Tofuji. 11 hours of meditation a day for 8 days. He is marveling at the little conveniences of home after the austerity of his practice, and I am reeling, not so much from the flight or culture shock as from the 3 times already I've banged my head on a low-lying cross-town in a shoji-screened house. We settled into bed early. Somewhere between midnight and 1 a.m., my body is still having trouble with the math on the massive time change. The next-door neighbor's golden retriever starts barking. I don't even know at what. Perhaps it was just to hear himself speak, but barking a blue streak, to be sure. For the wandering pilgrim who was finding it too quiet to sleep anyway, it was mildly amusing. A strange piece of a foreign country's late-night ambiance, juxtaposed with the sirens and city noise I had fallen asleep to on my American pillow 38 hours before. Dad, on the other hand, was less zen about it. "Shut up!" I heard him moan from his upstairs bedroom. Then, still louder, "Shut that dog up!" Silence. Nothing but my heartbeat. Then the dog starts up again. My father's footfalls, like those of a lumbering pachyderm, pound across the floor to his window. "Shut that fucking dog up! Oh, kill it!" Even from my prone position, trying to disappear inside my sleeping bag, I can see the old woman through the window. She grabs the dog and pulls him inside. And beyond my thoughts of the ugly American, I am haunted by my father's meditation practice. And his apparent ability to keep it separate from the rest of his life. A San Francisco treat. I want chicken, I want liver, I want watch your Fritos go with. Give me a break, give me a break, break me off a piece of... My bologna has a first name. Oscar Mayer, and I'm a vegetarian. In some schools of the martial arts, before you can pass on to the next rank, you are required to perform some feat. You must learn a form, or kata, or you are tried in combat by a sensei or a senior student. In some schools, the feat is the breaking of boards. It's a rite of passage. You must focus mind, body, and spirit in order to pass through. They can look kind of scary stacked up there in front of you. And the idea is to challenge yourself, to set a goal just beyond what you think you can do, and stretch to meet the challenge. I am 31 years old, and I wanted some way to know that grad school was over, that there was an ending and a beginning, some way to prove to myself that I am changed, somehow forever transformed by my time here. A ceremony. My father has studied with some great teachers, Choyong Trungpa, Okura Roshi, and Swami Satchidananda, to name just a few. He told me once of a private late-night meditation he had with one of his mentors, long before I was even a thought. In my father's typical brazen style, he asked simply and directly, "What's the secret?" There was a long pause. Then his mentor replied, "Eat the green frog first." I am one with all things. I am one with the earth, which has a diameter of 7,972 miles. I am one with the earth. Its spinning core maintains a temperature of 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit and generates a magnetosphere which extends 36,000 miles into space. Okay, apparently I was paying attention in high school. But be here now. I am one with all things. I am one with the sky, which is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% trace gases. One with the sky. What the hell is a trace gas? I am one with the water. Yeah, water's good. I am one. The Pacific Ocean covers nearly 64 million square miles. That's big. You know, Bruce Lee once said we should be like water. I am one with... Yes! I'm going to stack these boards up high, break them with the palm of my hand. But first... I always liked that part in The Karate Kid where LaRusso asks Mr. Miyagi if he can break boards like that. Pat Morita smiles and says, "Don't know. Never been attacked by tree." I like that. But my teacher used to say, sparring here, not full contact. Lucky for you. But sometimes one must pass through. Visualize a target and pass through it. Pierce it. Set a goal and perforate it on your rocket trip to success. Let's talk about that for a minute. Success. Money is not success. That's success. Money responds to capitalism. Success. My success has to do with respect and integrity and honesty, and I will say it with an awareness of something larger than ourselves. Now tell me, can you relate to that? Can you relate to a measure of success that cannot be got by hurting another, by causing damage or destruction or loss? There is enough entropy in the universe. We are creators. Can you relate to that? We are creators. Can you subscribe to a world in which success is intertwined with respect and with love and with gentleness and goodness of spirit? Money is not success. Success is what you do with what you are given, and what you give with what you do. Can you relate to that? This spring, I stand godfather to a friend's baby. My first foray into parenting, into being a male role model. And I have questions. 1, how well can we really know ourselves? 2, are illusions and confabulations a bad thing? 3, is it still wise to do unto others when they don't give a thought to you? 4, is it possible to practice what you preach? 5, why am I here? 6, to do what? 7, is love really the most important thing? 8, what do I do with the knowledge of my own mortality? Who do I ask the tough questions to? And one more thing. Eat the green frog first? What the hell does that mean?